Every single year we talk about goals, but this time we're not setting goals, we're building a new identity. The truth is that many of us are sitting with expectations, but no participation. We're praying for change, but we're not partnering with God to create it. Because baby, faith without works is dead. Oh honey, I hope you're ready for this episode. If you are, get your pen, get your Post-it, get your ambition planner, and let's go. Hello, Ambition Babes. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion, also known as the Face of Ambition, across all social media platforms, as well as wherever you stream your podcast. I help women 40 years and older who want a reinvention journey, who are ready to become absolutely unrecognizable by the end of this year, but they need a little guidance and accountability to get there. But do not worry, honey, if you are not over the age of 40 and the algorithm gods have decided to show you my face, just consider me a been there, done that bougie auntie who wants to put you on so that you do not struggle the way that I have. And today is the very first episode in an 8-part episode on how to become absolutely unrecognizable before the end of this year. Because yes, let that sink into your spirit. We only have 8 Fridays left in 2025. I do not know where the year has gone, and I do not know why we have not accomplished any of the goals that we said we wanted to accomplish. But yet here we are. And all that we can do now is what we can do right now. And what we can start to do is decide right now that I want to change. I'm ready to reinvent myself. I'm tired of the life that I've had all year long, and I do not want the same things, the same habits, the same goals, the same lack of confidence and clarity to roll into the next year. And what I know for sure is that transformation happens with clarity. Clarity is God's confirmation of who you are. You know what? We haven't done visualization in a long time. And because we are becoming someone that we've never experienced before, I want you to take a moment and close your eyes, taking a good deep breath. And as you release it, I want you to just allow yourself to sink into the idea of, I'm going to change in the next 8 weeks. Who I've been hasn't served me, and I'm ready for change. Or maybe this year has been absolutely amazing and you're ready to level up. While your eyes are closed and you have really strong paced breathing, I want you to think about the woman that you want to be walking into 2026. What does she look like? What is she wearing? What does her confidence look like? How do people experience her? What does she smell like? Does she like what she's wearing? The woman that you are envisioning right now woke up rested. Her space is very peaceful. It's clean, no clutter. She moves with purpose and not pressure. She looks at peace because she's on time. She knows what she's going to do today. She has a system that supports her tasks and responsibilities. She is disciplined and confident. Now, as you slowly start opening your eyes, I want you to ask yourself, what did the woman that you just envisioned stop tolerating? And what did she start prioritizing? What is it that she knows for sure about who she is? Your visualization does not have to be a fantasy. When you just closed your eyes and you allowed yourself to see that woman, you are using one of the most amazing gifts that God has given us, which is our imagination. No, you may not be that woman today, but you can envision the woman that God has intended for you to be. We keep asking God to show us what is next, but we have not taken action on what He's already shown us we should do. Faith without participation is a fantasy, honey, but faith with participation can lead to transformation. That is why I have broken down these 5 simple steps to finding clarity. Last week, I felt so unclear about so many things that are going on in my business. Even though some days it feels like I've been operating the Ambition brand for years, it hasn't been that long. So as we're building, diversifying, pivoting, making changes, introducing new products, and getting ready for the holidays, I found myself sitting still and actually not doing anything. Because I lacked clarity, I wasn't participating in exactly what God told me that I should do. There are so many things that He has revealed to me that I'm going to do in the new year. And instead of acting on it, I sat on it. Because just like everything else, clarity is a decision. We have to identify that we lack clarity and actively seek it. We need to talk to God. We need to talk to our mama, our sister, our best friend, our partner, our cousin, or our accountability partner. But baby, you're going to have to wake up and do something. And so I wrote out these 5 steps that have become my roadmap to clarity. There are things that I have done so many times in the past, but I could not seem to tap into it last week. And so finally, when I decided to shake myself awake, I jotted down these 5 steps that helped me to be able to refocus and re-engage in my ambitions. And step number 1 is that I had to silence the noise. I was listening to everything. I was reading, I was Googling, I was GPTing, I was getting inspired by Tracy Ellis Ross' last episode on a podcast that she was on. Even though I was sitting still, I was inviting the noise. And when one of the things that I have to be very mindful of is operating in chaos. Being unclear and uncertain and having a whole bunch of post-its and to-do lists and all of those things is a trauma response for me. It's how I used to operate. It's my default whenever I get a little uneasy. So I had to check myself, silence the noise, and do a brain dump. I needed to clear my mind of all of the junk so that I could actually find clarity. You literally cannot hear from God when you are overstimulated. I had to create space, which meant I had to do less scrolling and get into solitude. I had to work to get it out of my head and get it on paper because my lack of clarity was causing me to second guess my purpose. You guys, I have been very transparent about how I can sabotage my success. And one of the most simple ways that I have found to find clarity is to empty my mind, to write it all down. Inside the Ambition Planner, there is something called the Clarity Catcher, and it allows you to be able to brain dump all of your thoughts into things that you need to do now, things you need to do later, and things that you need to delegate. This is a very sacred space for you to be able to write down non potiki or things that are actually important. When you're brain dumping, I have but one request. Do not edit or overthink it. Just allow yourself to write in stream of consciousness. Get it all out. Absolutely empty yourself. Do not set a timer or parameters around how long it's going to take, because you'll find yourself rushing and you won't take this time seriously. I allow myself time to brain dump, and sometimes I walk off, I go walk the dog, I come back to the list, I write it down in multiple places and then combine it in one space. And even though this may take some time, it is actually the best use of your time because what you were doing before this was sitting still. Once you have done your brain dump, the second step is to identify patterns and desires. Once you've gotten everything onto a piece of paper, you can start identifying things that are similar. These patterns oftentimes are your heart's desire. They're the area that God may even be leading you to start taking action in first. What themes keep repeating themselves? Your repetition reveals your direction. Once you've identified these patterns, I want you to really focus on your desires. Simply ask yourself, what are the things on this list that drain me? And what are the things that are on this list that excite me? When you start reflecting on this list, your reflection is actually revelation. What I can promise you is that if you start reflecting over your week, you will find so much clarity. The simple act of writing down what went well, what you would change about last week, what went horrible, and the things that are in your control that you want to do next week, you will start finding yourself showing up more clearly because you've identified what didn't go right. So you're not repeating those same patterns. One of the things that used to go really wrong in my life was that I was always rushing. I was always late, and I was never prepared when I got there. And the moment that I started reflecting on my week and writing down that every single day, every single meeting that I had to attend, I was late showing up. I was not prepared. I wasn't intentional with my words or how I treated individuals. I started to see a pattern. When I reflected week over week, I started to see that every single week I was showing up the exact same way. Yet I was asking to be changed. Yet I was praying for God to take me to the next level. Baby, sometimes his no's are protection because I was not ready. But the moment that I became clear on the woman that I wanted to be, I identified my desires. And once I stopped repeating the habits that were holding me back from the success that I knew that God had promised me, success came as easily as flipping on a light switch. I was ready. I was clear. I could show up confidently because I knew exactly what I was going to do. That is why step number 3 is that you have to pair faith with structure. Like I said at the beginning, honey, faith without works is dead. So we have faith that we're going to end this year with an extra $10,000, $100,000, or even $1,000 in our pocket. We've standing on the promises of Malachi and asking God to open the windows of heaven. So now that you're standing on that promise, what are you going to do? How are you going to actually achieve that you have faith that you were going to receive? Yes, you're going to pray about it, and God is going to list those action steps. And if you are not structured enough to capture the response, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss what he's telling you to do. And then you're going to act like God doesn't answer your prayers. That is why you have got to find structure. Because what I can promise you is that you cannot manifest what you cannot manage. Your vision needs a vessel. Your strategy needs structure. And that is exactly why I created Ambition GPT. Imagine waking up to me every single morning and I'm telling you exactly what to do to reach your most ambitious goals. That is exactly how I have trained this custom GPT. I have taken 20 of the best things that I have learned in business, in management, in weight loss, in organization, in productivity, and I have poured it into Ambition GPT. Therefore, every day whenever you wake up, you simply log in and ask it, what am I supposed to do today? Baby, this is 2025. We should no longer be piecemealing success. I have created the structure that you have been looking for that is going to tell you exactly what to do to ultimately reach your 20-day, 30-day, 60-day or 90-day goals. If you have a goal that you want to reach by the end of this week, simply put that information inside of Ambition GPT and she will tell you exactly what to do every single day in order to reach the goal. What should you eat? How are you going to declutter your life? How are you going to launch the business so that it's fully operating and functioning before the end of this year? You have absolutely no idea where to start, and traditional GPT is going to require you to type in each and every question in order for it to tell you what to do. I have taken the stress out of the process and I've created it for you. I know that you desire structure. You know that you're working too hard to reach your goals. I am so excited that I get to share Ambition GPT with you, and you finally have the coach that is going to help you every single day to reach your most ambitious goals. Step number 4 is that you have got to define what success looks like for you. Success for someone could be ending this year with $300,000 in the bank. Success for somebody else could be finally launching their YouTube channel. While success for the next girl could be losing 5 pounds before Thanksgiving. You have got to know what you want in order to be clear on the direction that you should walk in. That is why I'm about to give you a little bit of homework. I want you to pull out that journal that you got from Target before we stop shopping there. And I want you to write down this very short journal prompt. I want you to write down exactly how you want to feel, live, and show up. This is exactly what you visualized. I want you to capture that emotion. What you saw when you closed your eyes can be real. You can live out your wildest dreams. But what I can promise you is that the likelihood of it happening without writing it down and creating an action step to actually achieve it becomes slim to none. You have got to make a decision that you are going to find clarity. Clarity can just fall upon you, or you can go out and seek it. My prayer for you is that it happens both ways. You got to ask, seek, and knock, sis. And the promise is that the door is going to be open to you. Step number 5 is, what bold action are you going to take this week? Yeah, we only got 8 Fridays left in this year. Therefore, we don't have a lot of time to figure out what you're going to do at the end of this year or later on next month. I'm talking about as soon as tomorrow. Clarity without action is confusion in disguise. You got clarity. You know exactly what you're supposed to do, but you have no action plan to do it. Therefore, you're going to still be chaotic. You've got to make an action plan, and nothing is wrong with starting tomorrow. What's holding you back? What's holding you back from the success that you seek? Who's telling you that you have to start on a Monday or the first of the month or the beginning of the year? Who made up these imaginary rules that you're abiding by? These rules that don't serve you. These rules that are holding you back. These rules that are causing you to not be on the level of success that you know that you deserve. This is the week that you write the proposal, that you write the book outline, that you pitch the business, that you apply for school, that you write the script, that you declutter that space, that you prioritize your health, that you meal prep your meals, that you move your body consistently, that you bend down and take off that toenail polish that's been on there for way too long. I'm talking about one bold action step that you're going to take this week. You know exactly what you need to do, and I'm challenging you to do it. This week, I want you to align your actions with the woman that you are becoming. Once you have found clarity, your life starts catching up to your vision. You start showing up differently. You start dressing differently. You are clear about what you are supposed to do, and your life is going to rise to the occasion. When you have clarity, you can stop pretending to be someone that you're not. You can stop pretending to be the woman of your dreams and actually become her. You stop feeling like an imposter because you can finally see yourself the way that God sees you. So as we start this Becoming Unrecognizable 2026 series, I don't want you to just watch it. I want you to participate. Every single episode, I started with get your pen, get your post-it, get your ambition planner, and let's go. And I mean it. It's time to get started, sis. You've been sitting on your hands praying for a breakthrough all year long. And this is the time for action, because becoming her requires both faith and follow through. And I happen to know that you can do both. In the comment section below, I want you to drop the mantra that you want to live by over the next 8 weeks. I want this to be a word that you repeat to yourself every single day until the end of this year. It could be a word or phrase that empowers and emboldens you. I want you to write this word in faith. You may not believe it today. You may not believe that you're going to operate with abundance and clarity. You may not believe that you're going to become the woman of your dreams. You may not even believe that God can do exceedingly and abundantly more than you've ever asked him to do. But I want you to step out on faith right now and write that word in the comment section and repeat it to yourself every single day until you believe it. Sis, I love you. And I pray that you are well and that you're doing something every single day to reach your most ambitious goals.